Hey everyone, welcome back to Launch Codes Football. My name is Chris.
And I'm Chelsea, and welcome to 2023, everyone. Can we believe it?
Woo! We did it.
We did. We survived another year.
Somehow, some way, we survived.
Somehow.
Sometimes I wonder, did I really survive or did I just kind of like bumble through?
Did you survive or did you thrive?
That's really the question for all of us. I don't know.
Indeed.
Maybe I was more of a survive last year.
That's okay. Sometimes it'd be like that.
But yeah, today we're talking about the playoffs. Playoffs?
Playoffs. Playoffs?
Oh my
Specifically,
gosh.
the wild card round of the
Oh my
playoffs.
goodness. The spiciest of all the rounds because
The most
honestly,
games of all of the rounds.
true, especially with the expanded playoffs.
Indeed.
So we're going to get just straight into it here. We had some teams we never thought at the beginning of the year would make it. We have teams that everyone expected to make it. We have it all in this year's playoffs. Thanks to the 7-team playoff per conference here, it has opened up wonders for the NFL. So, one of the teams that I would argue nobody picked to make the playoffs this year, the Seattle Seahawks, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Everyone thought they were tanking, but instead, no. Gino said, nah, I'm here to play. And he's played pretty well this year. Although I will say Seattle really has looked kind of rough these past couple of games. And it's really not looking good with their opponent they got to play here in San Francisco. At San Francisco, might I add, who is on a 10-game win streak and hasn't had many very close games in that win streak. So Chelsea, what do you think of this matchup?
I mean, I'm going to stand on the hill and die on the hill that you are on of no one expected the Seahawks to make the playoffs. And when I say no one, I say no one. I don't even think Seahawks fans expected to come close to sniffing the playoffs. Yeah, they were ready. They were like, woohoo, can't wait to get CJ Stroud. This will be great. Oh, well, rip you. You're actually in the playoffs. That sucks for you. But not actually. No, I mean, seeing the Seahawks make it into the playoffs at all, regardless of how far they make it, just the fact that they made it is quite astonishing.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, I don't think anyone thought that they were going to make it.
Yeah.
Gino, I guess, is just a late bloomer. Either he's a late bloomer or he had one fantabulous year and will revert back to the Gino we all know and love next year. It's got to be either one of those. I mean, either he's here for real to stay at the middle to, getting towards the more end part of his career, or he just had a really good year and that'll just be it. Personally, I hope that that's not the case. I hope he's actually here to stay because Gino's been around the league for so long and we've just kind of seen him be mediocre for so long. And it's nice to see someone who really no one respected to actually come out and ball. You gotta love that. So yeah, I mean, I love the story of them in the playoffs. Do I think that they will go anywhere in the playoffs? No, but it is the playoffs. So, I mean, you never know. Them playing the 49ers at home, it's a tough draw to be frank. They've already played the 49ers twice this year and they have to play them a third time at the 49ers. That's a rough draw. I think that the 49ers offense is just going to be too much for the defense. Now, that is assuming that Brock Purdy plays well. If Brock Purdy reverts back to, this is my first year in the league and I've never been in the playoffs and I don't know what I'm doing, Brock Purdy, then perhaps they'll have a chance because it's not like they really have another seasoned quarterback behind him, right? Is Jimmy G's hurt? Trey Lance is hurt. So it's Brock Purdy or bust for the 49ers. So I think this game's really going to hinge on the Seahawks defense because we know Gino can put up points. I mean, based on this year, we know that offense has the capacity to put up points. I just don't foresee their defense being able to hold up against McCaffrey and Debo and Brock Purdy and George Kittle and all the people that they have. As great as it would be, I don't anticipate it. But part of me really wants to see it happen, just to happen, because why not?
Well, I'm going to just spoil for everybody here right now my pick. I actually think right now that the 49ers will make the Super Bowl out of the NFC. I think they're playing better than anybody else right now. And I know the Eagles, they've been banged up with, Jalen Hurts being out. And I know he's come back and they have the extra bye week to get healthy. So maybe they come back looking like the Eagles we saw for most of this year. But to be honest, the Eagles have not sold me in the past couple weeks. And I think right now the 49ers are hot and they're ready. They're getting Deebo Samuel back this week. He's been injured. Last time they played Seattle was in Seattle on Thursday night. And what did they do? They crushed Seattle. It was not even close. Little bit of a hot take here. I'm going to say this, and I think it's true. I think that the Seahawks, in order to win this game, Kenneth Walker is going to have an amazing game like he was
Oh, I
having
agree.
earlier this year. I think he's going to have to carry the offense because Geno can pass the ball, don't get me wrong, but let's be honest, their passing offense hasn't been that great. And I think Seattle's going to have to be carried by Kenneth Walker because Geno, when you force him to throw a lot, that's where they've struggled this year. And so,
But to say that they can't have a passing offense is not necessarily true either.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know that this is not the equivalent to reality, but if you look at the vast majority of Geno's fantasy stats, I mean, for the vast majority of the year, the dude balled. So it's not to say that there isn't potential for Geno to carry this offense, but I do agree. I think that if they're going to win this game, that they're going to have to beat the 49ers at their own game. Yep. And doing that is going to be Kenneth Walker running for 150 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's just probably what it's going to come down to.
I agree.
Everyone knows what Geno's done this year. The 49ers have seen him twice already, so they know what they're getting into. Mm-hmm. So they're not going to be able to pull out anything surprising against the 49ers unless they just have been saving something all year. So I agree. I think it's going to come down to the O-line, and it's going to come down to Kenneth Walker. And if Kenneth Walker has 37 yards at the half, they're not winning this game.
No, I agree.
It's just plain and simple.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Next game we got here, just to kind of keep it rolling here, we have got the Chargers at Jaguars. Now, who expected the Jaguars to make a whole year's worth of turnaround?
Conlon.
Oh my gosh. I mean, here's the thing. They went from, it shows you how bad Urban Meyer was, though. Does it not?
He was trash.
Like,
he is arguably the worst head coach in NFL history, and he didn't even coach a whole season.
Exactly.
He almost broke Trevor Lawrence.
That's
when you know that he's bad.
I mean, he assaulted the kicker. So, I mean, I am like, that's crazy. The Jaguars, wow, they actually did have talent. Anyways, I'm going to pick them to win this game. They're at home. This is Duval's first time in the playoffs since like 2017.
2015.
They made it.
Or maybe it was 2017.
It was 2017.
I don't know. I erased the memory from my brain. That was a bad year for me.
Fair enough.
Football-wise.
I think that they are going to win this game. I think the Chargers should have been better than they are this year with all the free agent signings, but they're in the playoffs, which is better than last year, but it's like, feels like they've just they haven't really been that special to me from what I've seen. But I don't know. Chelsea, what do you think?
As much as it pains me to say this, I am going to side with you and go with the Jaguars in this game. I don't think that there is going to be a better playoff atmosphere this whole weekend than in Jacksonville. Not because Jacksonville is the best team or because they have the most fans, but because they have literally sucked for 20 years. And when they do anything of significance, like making it to the playoffs, everyone's just going to go insane. That's just how it's going to be. That's what I expect. I found it curious that the Chargers decided to play all of their top tier starters last week when they had already nailed down a playoff spot.
That was dumb. I don't know what the heck they were thinking.
I can understand wanting to do that for 2 or 3 drives, let's say, or a half even, so that your starters, don't go cold and dry from not playing. I get that. That's fine. But the whole game, was that necessitated? They had 2 major players exit the game with injury, one of them being, I believe, Mike Williams.
That's right.
Who is arguably the most impactful player on their offense when he gets hot. So they're not only going into this game away, but they're going in with major injuries sustained to starters because of poor coaching last week. And they're going in with additional injuries that were on top of that from earlier in the season. I agree with you wholeheartedly when you say that you think the Jaguar or the Chargers should have been better this year. I mean, at the beginning of the year on this podcast, I said that the AFC West was going to be must-watch football because
Oh
because
man.
because every team looks stacked. If you looked at it on paper, everyone thought it was the case with all the free agent signings and the trades and the quarterbacks. I mean, who wouldn't have said that? Obviously, that's a cold take. So if you want to post me and send me to cold takes, please feel free. That's fine. But they should have been a lot better. I think that Justin Herbert is very talented, and I think that he's going to be around for a long time. But I don't know. I mean, the Jaguars are riding the hot hand, and they're at home, and pretty much all of their impact players are healthy. So I don't know if they're better on paper necessarily, but with the momentum that they have, I'm not going to go against the Jaguars. Now, I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't be happy if the Jaguars lost, because I would be. But the unbiased analytical side of me must stay unbiased and analytical. Therefore, I'm picking against my heart and taking the Jaguars as much as
Fair
it
enough.
pains me.
I know it sucks, but we just have to be realistic here, what we think. And so, next, I don't really have much to say on this game. I think this is going to be a very one-sided game. We've got the Dolphins at the Bills. Did anyone actually watch how bad the Dolphins were last week? It was
Well, they were
6-6.
playing their third string quarterback, so
Exactly.
also
So
Tua has been ruled out for this game.
yeah,
So I feel like that's really all the explanation we need to give for our pick rationale.
yeah. This game is a formality, honestly.
I'm not going to take Skylar Thompson, or that's his name, right? Skylar Thompson over Josh Allen.
Look, the Dolphins did it earlier this year, but they were
They did.
healthy. But
Yeah.
not this time. I think the Bills win this game and by a lot.
It's a real shame, though, because the Dolphins looked really good during the season when everyone was healthy. And there were people who were talking about them potentially being a contender coming out of the AFC. Now, obviously, that doesn't stand a chance now unless something miraculous happens. But I'm in the same boat as you, Chris. There's absolutely no way that the Dolphins win this game at Buffalo without Tua unless a miracle literally happens.
Which I know we've seen crazier, but also maybe this proves, I don't know, I know people love tanking, right? But maybe this proves that tanking doesn't really work.
Why do you say that?
Because the Dolphins have tanked, and literally this is the first time they've made the playoffs, and they're probably just going to get blown out again. And Tua is looking so injured. It's like, is it going to actually work? I mean, you can make all the excuses you want, but all the teams who are actual legit Super Bowl contenders never tanked. Tampa Bay, I mean, not this year, but before, wasn't tanking. Kansas City Chiefs were a playoff team, and then they added Mahomes, which everyone thought they were dumb for getting rid of Alex Smith. Haha, us.
LOL at us. Post us on cold takes, everyone.
And literally, I'm just saying, maybe it kind of shows that tanking doesn't work. Anyways.
Hey, I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, if you think that tanking works or doesn't, definitely hit us up and let us know. We'd love to talk about it with you.
Exactly. Giants at Vikings. Vikings are like really sus, not gonna lie.
I agree.
They like, on one hand, they can look like a Super Bowl contender, but then the next week they look awful. So this is either gonna be like a great Vikings game or they're gonna play like crap. So I think, though, that the Vikings will win it. Because here's the problem. The Giants are similar. The Giants, I don't know. I mean, they're good, but I'm like, I don't know.
Are they, though?
I mean, they've made it this far. Nothing spectacular as far as any specific side of the ball or anything. But you know what? Hey, they're in. So props to them. I think Saquon's going to have a big game. And Daniel Jones, he cannot turn the ball over. He's got to be smart in this game. He's got to, make good decisions. And I think the Vikings, I feel like it's mental for them. They have the talent to be the number one seed in this conference, but it's like, I don't know. They come off like huge victories and then they go way down, and then it's a very much a roller coaster of a team. But I'm just saying, if the Vikings go down big, don't count them out. Sorry about that one, Chelsea. But
Yikes. Right in the heart. That's fine.
But yeah, I think the Vikings are gonna win this game just because I don't think the Giants are really that great. But I don't know. I don't see them as a Super Bowl contender for the Giants, but who knows what's going to happen this game. Honestly, this is almost like a flip of a coin. Which one's going to show up? Because, I mean, the Vikings did just beat the Giants a few weeks ago. So, there you go.
Maybe they're taking turns. The Vikings won. Now the Giants will win.
Oh my gosh. That'd be really
funny. We love
funny,
sharing
actually.
here. No, but I mean, I'm in the same boat. I think that the Vikings are sus. Yes. I think Justin Jefferson is very good. And I think Dalvin Cook is very good when he's healthy. And I think Kirk Cousins is at least above average. And they have good players on their defense. And honestly, if you look at their roster on paper, it's pretty good. I'm not going to lie. I mean, they went out and got Hawkinson from the Lions. I mean, so it's not to say that they don't have the pieces to make a run. If the Vikings are going to get hot, they need to get hot this week. They need to win like 40-7 so that when they cruise into next week, they actually have some momentum behind them. But I'm in the same boat as you, Chris. I think both of these teams are sus, and I think it's going to come down to just whoever decides to show up. But roster-wise, I do think that the Vikings are better. And I think that realistically speaking, the Vikings should win. So I'm going to pick the Vikings, but it would not surprise me if they lost. I'll just put that out there.
There you go. Next game, we have the Ravens at the Bengals.
This one's pretty self-explanatory also.
Yeah.
In the same way that Tua was ruled out, Lamar Jackson has been ruled out for this game. I am personally of the opinion that the Ravens stand a 0 chance against Joe Burrow and that offense without Lamar Jackson. Therefore, I'm going to pick the Bengals. There really isn't much to say about that. I mean, Tyler Huntley is not going to take the Ravens over the Bengals in Cincy. It's just not going to happen. Sorry, Tyler.
No, I think the Ravens are in because, they did win 10 games, but really, like, I think without Lamar, this is going to be a big, rough one. Now, the Bengals have this year at times played, really bad, like against Tampa in their first half. I mean, I don't know what that half was, but they got it together. They've gotten it together over as time has gone on. So props to the Bengals. I really didn't know. At first, I was worried that they were going to just make a Super Bowl and then, next year be like, oh, still riding on that fact that they made it. But no, they've played well this year, and they have shown that, hey, we can do this again. I think they've shown that. They beat the Chiefs. I mean, heck, there you go. And so I don't see them losing to Baltimore. It's like if they lose to Baltimore, man, that's just rough. That's rough, buddy.
Especially without their starting quarterback.
Baltimore's offense is just like not. They're just not very good. Their defense is good. I'll give them that. Their defense is good, but man, I think in the playoffs you have to have a good quarterback. I just think that's just the truth of it. So,
I mean, look at the vast majority of teams in the playoffs. That statement holds true.
There you go.
Even if it's just a quarterback that was really good for 1 year, like Geno Smith. Geno Smith still had a phenomenal year. So regardless if they are generally very talented and are generally good, or if they'd had a one-off season that was really good, regardless, you still have to have someone who's played really good that year to be able to compete. That's just how it goes.
All right. And then the last game we got, the big Monday night game between Tom Brady and Dak Prescott.
Ew, to both of them.
Man, this is something. I want you to know, here's my honest opinion. Okay, I have the Bucks winning this one, but I want you to know I was mad salty a couple weeks ago after the Panthers losing to the Bucks. So I was like, literally the Bucks are going to get destroyed by the Cowboys. That has changed for me because goodness, the Cowboys against Washington with absolutely nothing to play for just gets destroyed. And everybody was playing. I mean, they had a chance, for the number 1 seed. They had something to play for. And they just came out like they didn't want to play football. I'm like, they lost to Sam Howell. He had not started a game this year. It's his first year, and he dissected them like it was nothing. To Sam Howell, I mean, I'm not saying Howell's bad, but like, guys literally not started a game yet. How do you how do you give up that many points to them?
Chris, it's the Cowboys tank that happens every
It's
year.
January for the Cowboys. You're right. I agree. It's just
No,
like,
that was pathetic, though.
and I'm like, what are they doing? Are they actually ready for the playoffs? So I'm picking the Bucks to win this, not because the Bucks are good. They just got destroyed by the Falcons, but at least they could say we rested our starters, But my goodness, what the heck are they doing? I don't know. Like I said, I don't really want Tampa to win this, but also like I really don't like the Cowboys. And like I know if they do win this, there's ESPN and all of these media outlets will literally not shut up about them for the rest of the week until
I
they get
hope
to
that
their
the
next playoff
Cowboys
game.
lose just so I can see the Stephen A. Smith segment.
Mm-hmm. And
That's what I want to see.
oh my gosh, that would actually be really funny. And you do have to say one thing. Tampa beat Dallas in Dallas this year, the very first week. And neither team looked that good. Like, just to be real. But look, I don't know if Tampa's actually gotten better. Some people are this is one thing that upsets me. I'm sorry, but hear me out. Everyone said that, oh, Mike Evans, Tom Brady, they're back. Like they have that connection again. No, they do not. You know what happened against the Panthers? The Panthers had their third or fourth string corner out there. And I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure a college quarterback could have thrown to Mike Evans because he was so open every time. He didn't even do any fancy routes. The man just ran straight. Like, and then they were like, oh, like, man, their connection is back. I'm like, bro, I think anybody could have hit that. I think Brock Purdy, as good as he's been doing, he'd be thriving in that offense if that's all he had to do in that. So no, I don't think that they're back and that they're great. Maybe they've heated up, but just to be real, look, Tampa I don't think is very good, but I think the Cowboys might actually be worse at this point. It's that bad. And I got to be honest, it would be really funny for everyone trashing the NFC South and saying the NFC East is so good. If an NFC South team like Tampa wins against Dallas, that is going to be hilarious.
That's true. I mean, when it comes down to it, who are you going to take at quarterback? Are you going to take Dak Prescott or are you going to take Tom Brady?
Uh-huh.
Now, I'm aware that Tom Brady has not had the best season. It was his first losing season in his career. Blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. He's still Tom Brady. I don't care if he's like 68 years old. When Tom Brady is in the playoffs, it's Tom Brady in the playoffs. You do not disrespect playoff Brady. You just don't. That's not how it works. Even if he has a quote unquote down year, which for most people would be a good year, I might add. Yeah, the Cowboys, they just like look so good. Like 6 weeks ago, everyone was like, the Cowboys are back. They're back. They're back. We can't wait to watch the Cowboys because they're back. And the rest of the NFL fans, they were like, sure. We'll see how that goes 6 weeks from now. And now we're 6 weeks from now. And you know what all of the fans that aren't Cowboys fans are saying? They're saying, aha, this is what we suspected the whole time. So with the track record the Cowboys have had in the playoffs the last 10 years, I really can't say that I'm surprised that they look the way that they do because that's just how it goes.
No, none of the country is shocked. Even Cowboys fans, you can't even be shocked, right?
It just is mind-boggling to me. Like, I do not think that Dak is a bad quarterback. I think he's declined, but I don't think he's bad by any stretch. I mean, CeeDee Lamb is elite. Why they got rid of Amari Cooper, I still don't know, but that's whatever. Michael Gallup is Michael Gallup, and he is there and he is contributing. But is he Amari Cooper? No. I feel like that, and in their last game that they just played in against Washington, when they played all their starters, Micah Parsons got injured. And it's like, is he going to play through it? Probably so, because he's Micah Parsons. But dude, that's like the last person you wanted injured on your whole team. And you soiled it because you couldn't beat the Washington Commanders and their third string rookie quarterback with your starters. It was just mind boggling. I was just sitting on the couch watching that game and I was like, this is just so Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to take the Bucks, not because I think the Bucks are good. I don't think that they are good. I think they are significantly worse than they were last year. But I think they're better than the Cowboys.
The NFC,
I guess it'll just be the battle of mid.
Yeah, we love the battle of mid.
Do we?
Yes, we do. It makes chaos is good for the NFL. Prove me wrong.
If Wiles coached a game, you guys, he would run the ball up the middle 47 times and the score would be 6-3. I'll have you know.
Look at the Dolphins and Jets. It was 6-6 with less than 2 minutes to go, and the game ended up being 9-6. Don't tell me real coaches don't coach like that.
That is trash.
Anyways, guys, that's pretty much what we got. Let us know your picks down in the comments below. Please give us a shout out. Just give something. Give your opinion. Let us know. Do you think we're terrible at this? If we are, fine. That's fair. But at least let us know. Give us a comment about it. But I'm very interested to see the playoffs this weekend. But I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here, and we'll get back on these picks next time. But Chelsea, do you want to go ahead and lead us out of here?
Yeah, so thanks for listening, guys. Tune back in next week for more content. In the meantime, follow us on Twitter at LaunchCodesFB and on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube at LaunchCodesFootball. I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Chris.
And we will see you next week.
See ya.
Bye.